Anime protagonists aren't defined just by strength alone. They're defined by how they grow, why they fight, and what the story wants to say through them. These are the main protagonist types that shape anime storytelling. The Shonen Hero. The Shonen Hero is the most recognizable protagonist type in anime. Characters like Naruto, Luffy, and Deku usually begin their journey weak, inexperienced, or underestimated by everyone around them. What defines them isn't talent or intelligence, but persistence. They fail constantly, lose important battles, and suffer humiliation, yet they always get back up. Growth happens through effort, training, and emotional breakthroughs rather than clever strategy. Power-ups often arrive at moments of emotional intensity, protecting friends, refusing to give up, or confronting personal limits. Their optimism isn't just a personality trait, it's a weapon. It changes rivals into allies and forces villains to confront their own beliefs. The Shonen Hero exists to communicate one simple message. No matter where you start, determination can close the gap between you and the impossible. The Reluctant Hero. Reluctant heroes never wanted to be protagonists. Characters like Shinji Ikari, Subaru Natsuki, and Ichigo Kurosaki are dragged into danger by circumstance rather than choice. Fear, anxiety, and self-doubt dominate their stories. Instead of charging forward confidently, they hesitate, panic, and sometimes try to escape responsibility altogether. Their growth doesn't come from embracing destiny, but from enduring trauma. Every step forward costs them emotionally. They're often haunted by guilt, especially when others get hurt because of them. What makes this type compelling is realism. Most people wouldn't rush to save the world if given the chance. Reluctant heroes fight because doing nothing eventually becomes more painful than acting. Their courage is learned, not innate. The anti-hero protagonist. Anti-hero protagonists operate in moral grey zones. Characters like Light Yagami, Eren Yeager, and Lelouch Lamperouge believe the end justifies the means. They often start with understandable goals: justice, freedom, peace, but gradually sacrifice morality to achieve them. These characters don't lose sleep over becoming monsters. They accept it as necessary. What makes this type powerful is perspective. The audience often realizes too late that they're watching a villain's rise rather than a hero's journey. The story forces viewers to ask uncomfortable questions about power, control, and righteousness. Anti-hero protagonists exist to challenge the idea that good intentions automatically lead to good outcomes. The Overpowered Protagonist. Overpowered protagonists like Saitama, Arnos Voldigode, or Ainz Ualgaon start their stories already at the top. There's no climb, no struggle for strength, and no meaningful threat in combat. Because of that, traditional tension disappears. Instead, conflict shifts inward. These characters often struggle with boredom, loneliness, or isolation. Strength solves every external problem but creates internal ones. They can't relate to others, can't be challenged, and often feel disconnected from the world around them. This protagonist type exists to deconstruct the power fantasy, showing that infinite strength doesn't equal fulfillment. Winning is easy, living with that power is not. The Strategic Genius. The Strategic Genius protagonist wins through intellect rather than strength. Characters like Lelouch or Shiro treat battles as puzzles and wars as elaborate mind games. Every move is calculated. Every conversation has layers of intent. Physical combat matters far less than prediction, manipulation, and timing. These protagonists weaponize psychology. They understand human behavior and exploit it ruthlessly. Victory often comes from outthinking opponents long before a fight begins. This type appeals to audiences who enjoy complexity and foresight, turning anime conflicts into chess matches where one mistake can collapse everything. The Slice of Life Protagonist. Slice of Life protagonists don't deal with world-ending threats. They face everyday struggles, loneliness, insecurity, relationships, and self-identity. Characters like Hachiman Hikigaya or Seishu Handa grow through routine and reflection rather than battles. Progress is slow and subtle. There are no dramatic transformations, just gradual change. The stakes are emotional, not physical. This type resonates because it mirrors real life. Slice of Life protagonists prove that meaningful stories don't require explosions or villains, just honest human experience. The Tragic Protagonist. Tragic protagonists are defined by suffering. Characters like Guts or Akira Fudo endure relentless loss with little hope of reward. Even when they win, the cost is devastating. Trauma follows them constantly and shapes their worldview. What defines this type is endurance. They keep moving forward despite knowing happiness may never come. Their stories explore grief, rage, and survival in a cruel world. Tragic protagonists exist to show that heroism doesn't guarantee peace, and sometimes surviving is the bravest act possible. The Blank Slate Protagonist. Blank Slate protagonists are intentionally minimal in personality. Common in isekai and harem anime, they exist so viewers can project themselves into the story. Their reactions are neutral, their values flexible, and their identity open-ended. While often criticized as lazy writing, this type is extremely effective for immersion. The focus isn't on character development, but on experience. The audience isn't watching someone else's story, they're stepping into it. This design prioritizes wish fulfillment over narrative complexity. The philosophical evolution protagonist. Some protagonists don't grow stronger physically, they grow wiser. Characters like Edward Elric or Simon the Digger evolve by changing how they understand life, power, and responsibility. Their final transformation isn't a new ability, it's a shift in worldview. They often reject domination or control, realizing that true strength comes from balance and acceptance. Their victory isn't conquest, but understanding. This protagonist type represents maturity, closure, and emotional resolution. They don't win by overpowering the world, they win by learning how to live within it. Every anime protagonist type exists for a reason. They reflect different ways people grow, struggle, or break. Some inspire hope, some challenge morality, some feel painfully real. And that's why anime protagonists never feel the same twice.